Ted Hicks, and I'm here with Craig Yace and Scott Benson.
What are we doing there?
I'm telling you, hold on. You know,
it's not even coming through because of your.
Oh, there it is.
There we go.
All
there
right.
we go.
Fire.
You guys may hear the fire trucks.
Yeah.
You may see the fire
there we
extinguisher in my hand. I know what you're thinking watching the #1 real estate mortgage show in Corona, California. Is Ted Gallagher? Is he the Gallagher host of real estate shows with all these props?
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I just can't help it, man. This market is on fire. The fire department's coming. I got to come prepared with a fire extinguisher. Better yet, a skill set with a killer realtor and killer loan officers. Us, the real estate mortgage insiders. Guys, keeping you on your toes. How we doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Hey, do we have a watermelon in the back? You're gonna pull a watermelon.
You know what? Again, for our demographics, yes, we do. I'm ready for the Gallagher jokes. I'm ready for the watermelon.
Awesome.
I might do a Howie Mandel with the glove on my head and my name is Bobby. I can do it all. Come on.
Oh my gosh, that's from the archives for sure.
It is, dude. I'm telling you, we can go. How are things in Corona? Are they on fire too?
They're on fire. Oh my gosh. 123 homes on the market right now. That's down from last week.
Yeah.
155 sold in the last 30 days. That's also down from last week, probably because there's less inventory. But we've got less than a month's worth of inventory on the market.
What is going on over there? And I should be careful with the fire stuff because at one point you guys had fires in the hills over there, didn't you?
Yeah. Yep. We've had them a few times.
Yeah. The beauty of living in California, you get all sorts of stuff. Go ahead, Scott.
I was just going to say, there was a really interesting article in the Wall Street Journal this morning that came out on what's going on in the real estate market. And they were talking specifically about the limitation in terms of the amount of inventory that's on market. And they said, the big issue relative to inventory are that the people that are in their homes that are sitting on really low mortgage rates, even if they want to move, they are holding on to those homes because they don't want to give up on the low interest rate.
Yep.
And the Fed is scheduled to do another bump in rates. A lot of people think that means rates are going to go up, but because everybody already thinks the Fed's going to bump the rate, that rate increase is already built into current pricing.
Right.
But the expectation is we are going to see a bit of a drop going into later this year, maybe get down or into the low sixes again, and then about 24 months down the road, maybe we see something go even below that. But I hadn't really thought about that as a reason that people would be, why there would be less inventory on the market, because people are just they're just holding on. They want to keep that 3.5% loan. They don't want to sell their house.
For sure. And one of the interesting things that people can do is they can actually hold on to that home and rent it out and cover their mortgage because their interest rate's so low. So the bummer is, what are you going to find? Because if everybody's doing that, there's just not a ton on the market. I'm going to solve that challenge later in the call today. One thing I did want to mention, I'm seeing this a lot in the MLS notes. They're starting to say, hey, this loan is assumable at this 3.25% interest rate.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
That in 20 years. I mean, it's been around. I just don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But you know what? That can make a huge difference. It makes a huge difference in terms of the flexibility people can have going into the home.
Right.
That's nice.
You like
nice,
that?
Nice.
I made that. That's, in fact, that is a sneak preview. What's going to be posted on our Instagram in about 3 weeks because it's already planned out and scheduled. But it just is pointed to our conversation because yes, people don't want to sell, but there's also people that have no problem paying their rent and waiting for the rates to come down. Yet they're paying 100% interest on their rent. Mm-hmm. And again, who tells you not to buy right now? The landlord. Don't buy. It's a horrible time to buy.
Right.
Yeah, God, yeah, absolutely. You should stay where you are for another 5 years, for sure. Yeah.
Well, glad you guys would like that. All right. Before we forget, I'm telling you guys, the reviews are in, And by far, the number one segment is get to know us. People are just astonished. In fact, blown away. I think last week's show, man, they're really learning a lot about us. So that was fun. I watched that video again. I was like, Craig really pulled that out. He was glitching. It makes me wonder, are you AI, Craig? I don't even know.
I was taking notes from a Surly movie. So I titled the little clip that I made, is it AI or a robot? I wanted to say fembot, but I just couldn't do it.
Hilarious. Okay.
No projectiles coming out of me.
One of us used to be in the rodeo. Not a bus rodeo. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. I emceed a bus rodeo. No, a real rodeo. Now there's clowns. You may say a guy making jokes could be a clown, right?
Could be.
Also a guy that has to be kind of aggressive, live on the edge, maybe like Scott with his long hair. Or Craig's sister, maybe, with de-knifing the biker.
Right.
She lives on the edge. But one of us is in a rodeo. One of us, now I'm gonna read this. One of us was a haberdasher for some famous sports music figures and almost for a cartoonist.
Almost.
Wow.
Almost for a cartoonist. I'd like to know who that cartoonist was. We're going to figure that out. And the third one was a tour guide in Egypt.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, tour guide in Egypt. So that is what we got to figure out at the end of the show. Bull rider, haberdasher, and tour guide in Egypt.
Start thinking. I love it. Start thinking, audience.
Yeah, start thinking. Send us your responses, and we'll find out at the end of the show.
That's right. We've got messages. You can send a message right now, live on this live stream.
You could. Turn on the chat. Wait, we have 2 viewers. Let me turn on the chat overlay. Let's see if anybody wants to chime in right now on our chat. I just turned on the chat overlay. We have not used this feature, but as always, go ahead.
We've doubled our live viewership. That's pretty great.
Well, spoke too soon. Great job, Craig. In the old sitcoms where they're blaming it, Craig did it again.
That's it.
All right. Well, I'll leave the overlay on for a few minutes, and then I'll turn it off if nobody chimes in. But if anybody wants to chime in, ask a mortgage-related question or a real estate-related question, we'd love to answer it for you. That's where we thrive. Craig, I got a new loan program. It was not a new loan program, but we haven't talked about it yet. And this is going to be a construction loan or a bridge loan. Mm-hmm. So this came up in one of our other shows where, the property is an investment or it could be a primary for that matter and needs to be purchased and then rehabbed before they move in. So we have loans that do that, and they look at a few different things. It's actually one of the easier loans to get. And again, with any of these, I don't care if it's DSCR, I don't care if it's 30-year fixed for your primary. Your FICO is going to be probably the number one thing that comes into play because that's the one thing that's consistent across the board is your FICO score. So keep your credit healthy, guys, and we've talked about that. We can go into that a little bit further. So credit scores number. What are you laughing at, Craig?
Scott, what are you eating? I hear the bowl clanking.
Is he eating it on our show?
I am. I got too much stuff to do today. I got to eat. I got to do a show. I got loans to do. Man, I'm multitasking.
You're multitasking.
So.
Oh, by the way,
so
we're up to 2 viewers again. So anybody, if you want to ask a question, jump in, ask. We're here. Mouthful or not, we're going to answer your question. You got SpaghettiOs.
Raviolis.
SpaghettiOs, man. It's the lunch of champions, man. It's highly nutritious. So
that's it. Knowing Scott, they're vegan SpaghettiOs.
Oh, dude, you don't know mine's all protein. That's it.
Yeah.
So
followed by plant-based protein. Mm-hmm. All right, great. So bridge loan. Their number one thing we're looking at is FICO. Number 2 is going to be your down payment. And number 3 is going to be the after repair value. So what's it going to be?
Yep.
What's the value after it's appraised when you're done doing the rehab to it? So we can go up to 90% loan to value on your primary loan. So if you have, I guess another thing they take into consideration is your experience. If you're experienced, let's say you have 4 or more investments under your belt and you've done this, I've got a lender that's going to let you go all up to 90% LTV.
Wow.
And that's on the primary purchase of the property. Then they'll do 100% of the repair value. Now, some of them most of them do it in a draw. Some of them are going to have you paid up front and reimburse you. Some of them are going to cut the check directly to the contractor. But 100% of the rehab. And I mean, we're talking, I priced this out last week for a $6 million project. So they'll go millions of dollars into it if the project makes sense. So you got your LTV on the purchase, you got 100% of the rehab. And then the big number that comes in, it's going to be the lesser of the two, the lesser of the combined numbers we just talked about, or the after repair value has got to come in at around 75 or 70%, depending on the loan. So let's say you buy something at 500, you flip it for 50,000. Now it's worth 800. Scott, what's the LTV on that?
Oh man, I was taking notes on this for our thing, so I didn't get your number. So tell me the number again, and I'll give you the.
We bought it at 500. We put 50.
So we're at 550.
Very, very specific. Dean chimed in our first comment live. Our boy Dean.
Yes.
Cowboy, hold on. I'm going to pause this note. Cowboys, Egyptian tourists, haberdashery, where are you hiding the shrooms? So many hidden talents and just not enough time to create systems to exploit them. That's true. That's true. But we find time, Dean. We find time. Guaranteed. Okay. So let's say, you know what? Let's be realistic about it. You put 50,000 in, it increased the value to 150. So now we're sitting at 650. We bought it for 500. What is our after repair value?
You just said it's 650.
The LTV. What's the LTV I'm coming in at?
Oh.
So you're saying that after you've completed the repairs, your valuation is 650 and your initial purchase is 500. Is that what you're saying?
But I need to get in. What the loan is going to be, the max I can get to do this with is 75%
of the 650 is what you're saying.
Correct.
Because I want to make sure I got the right math, man. I'm sorry.
No, please. I just put it out.
$487,500. If I did that right, $487,500.
Well, we all know he's wrong. Actually, maybe 70% is 455, so he's probably right. But
you said 75 though. You can't change the numbers on me, man.
So now you're paying attention. Now you're paying attention.
Now I'm not taking notes. I'm taking no notes for the post game show.
Thanks for putting your SpaghettiOs down and paying attention. We appreciate it. Thank you for Okay, so that would be the max. So then what that does, Craig, is if that number comes in lower than what you need to borrow, then you got to put more deposit down. They're not going to go past that. So that they take the lower of the two. So at that 70% comes in, or 75 at 485, then the most they're going to loan you is 485. So you're just going to put more into your rehab or your down payment. So typically 12 months, they will go up to 18 months. And then a strategy would be, let's say you want to move into this, you want to buy it. I do have loans that are one-time close that allow you to do that. But if you were to take this loan specifically, you would need to not move in until the repairs were done. Then you would refinance it into a primary resident loan. So this loan would be just a stepping stone. It's a bridge.
Bridge loan.
Right? So that's how we do that. Questions?
That's only if, well, I guess it's a bridge loan either way. So if you're going to flip it or you're going to move into it.
Correct. Yeah, because either way, you got to get out of the loan. You're going to sell it.
Got it.
Well, and you know, there's a FHA program for buy and fix, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't know that you can also even look at mobile homes for a buy and flip. As a matter of fact, one of our lenders, Ted, I don't know if you saw that, but today they came out with a new program where they are helping people get FHA qualified, purchase and repair loans on new properties. So there's some exciting stuff going on there too. If people are in the market and they want to get into a starter home, a little bit less expensive, and they want to fix something up, that's another loan program people can look at.
Well,
out on the market right now.
another approach to do that. We've looked at this extensively, and I think the cool kids are calling it house hacking.
Mm-hmm.
You can get an FHA loan, house hacking.
Hacking, okay.
Yeah, you're hacking the mortgage because you're having your tenants pay for it, and you're having the rental income help you qualify it to augment your income. So you got let's say a quadplex, a fourplex, and you buy it. You move into the primary unit. You can take the rent from the other 3 units up to 70% of what the rent would be from a 1007 appraisal, and use that for your income, and probably have it offset your mortgage or pay for your mortgage. You may put money in your pocket. So now you're living for free, and you have that investment growing over time.
What if you bought a big 5-bedroom house and you rented out 4 of the rooms? Could you do that?
For FHA purposes, I'd have to ask. I don't think that would work, but I don't know. Maybe it would. I mean, with that, I'd have to go to the lender. That's not one that's on my drop-down list. That's going to be a specific question to a lender.
Okay.
I mean, you can. I mean, obviously. So to your point, actually, to house hacking, yes. To qualify for a loan, I don't know.
Okay.
To qualify for the house hacking, of course. Yeah, you rent it out. You got roommates. They're paying for your rent. You're paying for your mortgage.
I knew of some scenarios where that had happened. I just don't know how they got the loan. I'm sure it wasn't FHA.
No, they would have to qualify with their own income probably. Now, if they had existing rental income and they went to do a refi, I can see that happening.
Sure.
Because you have a track record. You have the rent coming in.
Right.
So it really depends on the lenders too. I mean, it's such a variance when you call these people.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. The second most popular segment of the show. Can anybody guess?
Ted's tech tip of the day, I would say, is the second most famous one.
Of course it is. Of course it is, guys. I mean, what else would it be more popular than that? So, Craig, I'm going to do this for you here. I'm going to show you how we take our show and we make a blog out of it. Okay?
Okay, good.
So why is that important? Scott, SEO, local SEO. What do the blogs do when you post them?
Oh my God. Well, they do a number of things, right? So you end up showing Google that you are keeping current content on your platform. So it raises your SEO findability in terms of the scoring that they do. And if you're in the Google My Business profile routine, which, by the way, everybody, if you're in the market and you have any kind of business, you need to make sure that you turn that on with your address so that you can start generating leads. And you need to generate reviews, because you take that combination of things, and local SEO search will have a huge impact in terms of the number of calls you get from people that are searching for your type of service in the local community. Because that's in that whole, when you do something in Google and you look at everything that is near you, that's what that's referencing in the search engine.
Exactly. So thank you. So I'm going to show you guys. So this is our website, Real Estate Mortgage Insiders. Let's see, make sure I'm sharing the right tab. I'm not. So let's share it. Here we go. That's a beautiful looking website, by the way.
Whoever designed that was probably a former rodeo clown. I'm just saying. I don't know.
So here's our blog on our main page. You can see we have different blogs on here. Oh, look at that, Corona, California. Look, do you recognize the picture, Craig?
Yes, I do.
That is
2 lakes. No,
that is the lake talked about.
Was that Dos Lagos?
No.
Oh.
That is the Big Bear. When we talked about Big Bear, and there was that lake that we talked about, and it's on our show. So this
then I didn't recognize it.
Yeah, well, what you do say, it's water.
Okay, I'm going to get you a different picture that will represent Corona. Okay.
Well, no, that wasn't Corona though. That was that was the lake that we talked about where my son went.
Okay.
But up by Big Bear.
Oh, Arrowhead.
Yes. That's what that was. Okay. So for Corona, how about this? Is that a good picture of Corona?
That could be. It's a really small picture.
Well, let's fix it. Hold on. Let me hit more. So we actually have our blog page where the blog up too. There we go. that a nice picture of Corona?
Oh, you know what?
Yeah,
I think it's a beautiful picture.
Yeah. Is that
I think
one
it
on?
is.
Yeah. So anyways, let's show how we make these now. Let's pull back the veil and show how we use our Six Sigma Systems tool to make blogs. So the first thing you do is you record an amazing show, which we do every week, like we're doing right now. Then we go to our tool and we go to blogs. We go to new post. And while we do our show, Scott takes notes. Okay.
That's what I'm doing right now.
And Scott will summarize them and then send more to me in Slack, which I don't think you see, but I'm going to grab the notes. And so the first thing we're going to do, and I'm trying to go fast because I know everybody's watching and I don't want them to get bored. Put the title in. Okay, so I left there. Oh, and there goes my password to everything. Darn it. Hold on.
Pause.
So everybody that's watching this show right now that's recording this is the time to turn it up to 2 times speed. Okay. So go.
There we go. There's the title.
Yeah. Yep.
Cover image. I need an image for the post. Let's just go grab blog pics. And we were talking about Florida. So I'm going to grab the same one from last week. It's okay. This one right here. There's my picture. And we're going to talk about investment. Always important to put that alt text under the image also. That's going to help with your SEO as well. Investment properties in Florida. And description. And this is just going to put a brief description. So I usually take the first portion of what Scott sends me. I don't put the whole thing. And again, you guys don't see me doing that, but I'm going to put the description in there. And we went too far. Engaging. I'm just going to get rid of this right there. And then tab down and hit create post. So that's the first half. And then default, it has posts in there. I'm going to delete that out of there. And I'm going to take the rest of what Scott posted.
And Ted, while you're doing that, I think people might also find it interesting. So I do take notes during the show, but I don't write every single thing down. I just take some highlights. But what I do is I put those highlights into ChatGPT. And then I have Chat generate a nice write-up. I'll read through it. And if I need to make adjustments to it, I do. But that allows me to turn these things around very, very quickly. And then they are very accurate representations of what it is we walk through in the show. I'm still looking for, ideally, the AI integration that I could have listen to our show live and not transcribe it, but take notes. So if I find that tool, I'll share it with everybody. Yeah, don't have it yet.
Okay. So now I've got basically the summary, and I probably need to put another paragraph in there somewhere, but I'm trying to hurry up here. So keep backfilling, you guys. Keep talking. But this is important to show because this is something that needs to be done, and this is being done with relative speed if you think about it. It just doing it live on the show. So I'm going to grab the YouTube feed. You guys aren't going to see that, but I'm going to grab it from earlier.
And then maybe what we can talk about then is so then at the end you are going to have a blog post that is on the web, and this blog post will then show that it was posted today, and we will post multiples of these, and then that will help us with our SEO ranking in all of the locations where we've got this, because we have because we service multiple areas. We have multiple websites, each with a local address. Because we're working in conjunction with our partners, which then helps us do well on, again, the SEO optimization for Google searches and Google My Business profile.
Yep. So I'm going to put some keywords in here. Miami investments, condos, W hotel, author's Ted Hicks, and we're going to publish. Publish date. I'm going to do it right now. Live on the show. Save. All right. Again, guys, this is built into our system. This is built into our tool that we offer. So you're not having to go get another blog. It's in there. Now, I'm going to go to the website. I'm going to share this tab. I'm going to refresh. Okay, so you're going to see it refreshed here. Let's see, right there. Let's scroll down. Oh, I can go to the home page. That's right. Here we are. Right there. Now it's live. And then you click on it. It's going to open up the blog page. And I'm going to show you guys one little key thing there. I put the video in and I embedded it. You can actually post and host video live, but I find when you do the embedding, it actually puts the right format so it looks proper. And then there is the Blogging's Insider Show. Oh, look at that. It's us.
There we go.
And that's how we do. Ted's tech tip of the day is how to make a blog post with 6 Sigma systems.
Quickly.
As quick as you can.
Yeah.
I know it's not as quick as I normally do, but it's important to show. It's a good tool.
Yep.
Well, but you did it real time with, the little issues that always come up as you're putting stuff through and changing passwords and doing all that other stuff. But even still, you did the whole thing in certainly under 10 minutes and quick and easy, and it becomes invaluable in terms of the Google ranking. So it's a nice thing to know.
Changing passwords, revealing passwords, all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Exactly.
This is a full service live cast.
That's it.
Yes.
Craig, are you drinking out of a jar?
Mm-hmm.
Do you jelly, Craig? Are you a jam
Mason
maker?
jar. No, my wife, she's into all.
Are you into preserves?
No, not at all.
All right.
Trying to preserve myself, but that's not working. Look at that, man.
That, I'm telling you.
Coming in.
You know, Craig, there's a day when a man has to decide on what direction he wants to go. I'm just saying. I don't think you're there, though. I think you'd be okay.
I only have a 5 head at this point, so I think we're good for a little bit.
That's it. I've got the extended forehead is what you're trying to say. Yeah. So, all right, Scott. We started with you last week, so I'm going to give Craig the opportunity. Wait, did Craig go first last week? No, Craig went first. Scott, you go first this time.
Yep.
You sure? Because I don't want to steal anybody's thunder here, but if nobody jumps in, I'm going with it. So
well, need to recap. We had the.
No, I'm good. No, I'm good. I'm good. So as I was growing up, my father worked for the embassy, and he went to many different countries around the world, and I would go visit him every summer. And one of the countries that I went to was Egypt, and it was very cool. I got a little picture of me as an 8-year-old on a camel in Egypt. So it was really quite fun. So anyway, I did that. Then, as everybody knows from last week's show, I spent a little time at the circus. I gained quite a bit of weight, and then I eventually wanted to lose it. One of the things that happened to me when I went to Egypt when I was 8 is I hated the food there so tremendously that I lost a tremendous amount of weight. When I came back, my mom actually she welled up in tears when she saw me because I was so thin, right? So after I left the circus, and I left because I was also having health issues because of all the weight I was carrying, I went over to Egypt, and I went really to lose weight, but I had to find a way to earn a living while I was there. I became a tour guide because I speak pretty decent English, and I knew some of the history, and I could relate to what it was like from my time there as an 8-year-old. So I am that tour guide from Egypt.
Do you remember? I mean, I don't need a lot, but just give us one thing you would point out in your tour.
Well, a lot of people don't know this, but you know what's that circle called? The circle that is the like in a shell, and it dates back to do you know what I'm talking? What's it called?
A promenade?
No, the Fibonacci.
No. Yeah. Yes. The Fibonacci sequence. Yes. So what people don't know is that if you go up every 4th step of the pyramid, it follows that same sequence. Wow. A lot of people don't realize that, but as you're climbing the pyramid, it follows that same sequence, and that number is very well known to be a key building block to all living things that are on the planet. So kind of cool. But yeah, that's a little tip that most people that are probably even in Egypt, they aren't aware of that. But it's every 4th step.
Do you know why I knew the Fibonacci or that thing at all?
Whatever that thing is called, yes.
Yeah.
Why?
There's a band named Tool, and they've got a song that kind of goes off that. It's a really cool song, and they think now in retrospect they're like, that was the stupidest I can't think of a clean word to say, but anyway, they were like, that was kind of dickish. Sorry.
Craig, this is a family show.
Yeah.
I know.
Did Scott, do the camels ever spit at you?
They only when they're younger do they really spit at you, because they develop a personality over time, and as you kind of get to know them, they really don't, unless they're mistreated. If they're really really hungry, then yeah, they will spit at you. But mostly it's just the younger ones. Yeah.
Last question, and we'll move past this because you
Yeah,
did
yeah.
a wonderful job.
Yeah.
How many toes do they have?
Well, that's another kind of peculiar question, because if you look at the bottom of their feet, you will see 3 toes. But what people don't realize is that up higher on the leg there is another toe, and so formally they really have 4, but most people really only think 3. But it's not like they're stepping on this toe; it just kind of sticks out the top of their leg. So yes,
kind of like a dog when they have that little loose.
Yeah, it's actually they're related. Camels, they think, came from dogs at one point. I think in Africa. I don't know how.
Craig, your laughter is contagious. You started laughing and it just made me laugh. So
you were like full on.
Well, dude, because you're cracking up over there, and I just can't. It's making my desk shake. I'm turning red. I'm gonna spray myself. Craig, please. Craig, Scott. By the way, great job. Great job.
Had an interesting life. What can I say?
Very fun too.
Yeah.
Yes, Craig.
Wait, your father was in the embassy?
Yeah, he was. He was. He, first time I remember having met, because my parents were divorced really, really young. So my dad that I grew up with is really my dad, right? But my father, genetic father, that I would go see. First time I met him was in Brazil. But yeah, I did. I went to go see him in Egypt. It was very cool. Long time ago.
Very cool. Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Craig.
It was a haberdasher to the stars. Well, not really, but we did have some. So if anybody needs to know what a haberdasher is, it's somebody who dresses, it's like men's clothing kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. It's just a fancy word. It just means that I sold men's clothing. And some very nice suits. And we had, who would come in? Garrett Anderson used to play for the Angels a number of years ago. That dude is tall, very hard to dress him. One of the coolest was, here's the musician, the bass player for Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. The original band came in because that band was getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, and he wore the clothes that I dressed him in.
Very cool.
Into the Hall of Fame. Another funny story with a sports guy. This lady there was a guy that I worked with. I actually went to high school with him too, but didn't know him that well in high school. And he was a sports freak, but more than just sports, he knew stats on everybody. And when I tell you this story, you're going to realize everybody. So this lady came in and she's kind of going through our clothes and she's just kind of tearing it up a little bit. And she, I went up and asked how I could help her. And she says, well, my husband plays for the Dodgers, and she tells her name. I'm not going to tell their names, but she says, he plays for the Dodgers, and the Dodgers want them dressed in sports coats when they get off the plane. So this guy that I work with comes over and he whispers the name. He goes, that's so-and-so's wife. And I go, who's that? He goes, he's a third stringer on the Dodgers. I'm like, how do you know third stringer? The guy sits on the bench. Anyway, and he was a really difficult fit because he was shorter, but just built, man. We had to sell him a huge jacket and pants that were
tailored in like
down. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very cool. A lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, those were fun days.
All right. So without further ado, I worked for the rodeo, and I wasn't a clown. Surprisingly. I actually had a very unique role, one that people don't realize that it even exists, probably unless you're a rodeo connoisseur. So Craig, you might know, but you know the lassos?
Yeah.
They have a very distinct knot that needs to be done. And not a lot of guys can do it effectively. Early on in the rodeo histories, I mean, I'm talking like 1700s, there were issues with the knots holding. So guys would go out and they would, rope the steer, and the knot would break loose and they would lose the steer.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually they perfected this knot. And a lot has to do with there's a ring called the Honda, and the Honda it's the ring that it loops through to really make it latch and create that lynch effect. And I was an all-star Boy Scout, and I excelled. You get the patch in knotting, and so I took that skill and got myself into the rodeo. And I would tie the ropes in knots, and I would actually have to sign them. Just like a boxer, when they fight, they sign the taped hands.
Uh-huh.
I would sign it to say, hey, this one's good to go. And I got so well known, they wouldn't even use the ropes unless I had signed it.
Oh, wow.
And so that was my experience in rodeo. I mean, I did it for a few years. It was side cash. It was just more of a hobby for me. It was fun to tie these award-winning ropes, these knots. Yeah. And out of it, guys, I got a nickname. They'd call me Ropey.
Ropey. I like that.
Ropey.
That's kind of like Groupie, but Ropey. Okay, yeah, got it. Ropey.
They'd call me Ropey.
You're the man of 1,000 nicknames.
With that said, Craig, for the Real Estate Mortgage Insiders, he's Craig Yace. He's Scott Benson. I'm Ropey. Have a good week, everybody.